This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome once again, my friends, to the podcast that never ends. This is Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burger Pits.
Phil me and Perich.
Philip, so glad you joined me again. And I say this is the podcast that never ends because even when it ends, we leave you with thoughts that will haunt your dreams. So, speaking of which, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Zeus.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, we got a couple castings this week. Russell Crowe's going to be Zeus in Thor Love and Thunder.
Is this, here's my thing, is this a, I'm forgetting his name now. Was he supposed to say this? Is this a situation where he's like, you weren't supposed to say that, dude? Did he get approval to say this before he said it? Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go be Zeus tomorrow. You know, because like that's just started, hasn't it? I mean,
I don't know. Except from what I hear, Alfred Molina is like spilling the beans about his appearance as Doc Ock and Spider-Man, and it's like,
oh yeah, I'm totally the same Doc Ock. I'm from the different universe. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, what is happening? We used to have such a tight ship, or is this what they want us to think? And that, I think, is what this all comes down to, is this idea that, you know, there's this crazy idea that, you know, all the guys who go, oops, I guess I shouldn't have said that, really we're always told, okay, these are the things you should say. Oh, but do us a favor, just say, oops, I shouldn't have said that when you do say that, and that'll make it okay.
All right. And I mean, are Russell Crowe and Alfred Molina, I mean, they're older gentlemen. Is it just like, oh, what are you going to do? End my career? I was going to retire in 5 years anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but to be fair, Alfred Molina, he doesn't have Russell Crowe money, you know?
No, but I mean, he's done some stuff.
He's a legitimate actor. Russell Crowe's a famous actor. And that's not to take away from Mr. Molina, just like, let's be honest here, you know? Alfred Molina kind of became an actor when he got to be a middle-aged guy, and then he like, oh wow!
But I bet you he gets a decent some money from like residuals and stuff.
Oh no, he's got his money. Don't get me wrong. He's well off, but you know, I'm sure he would like to continue to do projects with, especially now that like two of the major studios are now just one studio.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Then Disney and Sony come to some deal. So
so now three, but
yeah.
Well, Sony is still separate. Sony is still technically its own entity.
Yeah, but they made a deal where they can start showing Spider-Man movies, I guess, maybe on Disney.
Yeah, so they worked out a deal. So it's just one more layer onto the thing. It's like they made the deal with Netflix, sort of just to get Disney to make another deal. Where you kind of get the feeling like they were just over at Netflix to make Disney jealous. You know, it's like, oh man, I thought we had a deal. It's like, well, maybe if you gave us a little more attention, Disney, we wouldn't be talking to Netflix. You know, I don't really like Netflix. You're the one I want, Disney. You're who I want. Just give me billions of dollars and we can be together forever. Yeah, so that's good. But I am interested in the idea that Zeus will be in Ragnarok. Because it immediately opens up this idea of that Olympian pantheon, which people have wanted. And for what it's worth, we know the Grand Master, or at least Jeff Goldblum, was seen on set. So it immediately opens up this idea that, because for those who don't recall, the entire reason Hercules and Thor first fought is because Zeus was kind of like getting up in his business about, like, oh, why isn't my son on the Avengers? Why isn't my son proving that he's the man and a half? And so that's sort of how that whole thing starts. So, which also opens up this idea, well, are we going to get ourselves a Hercules? Or is it just going to be Zeus is going to battle Thor in the arena? There's so many things that could be going on in this.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Are they bearing the lead by announcing Russell Crowe? It's like, it might get some more people to watch, Russell Crowe fans, but then it's like, hey, let's throw out a Zeus. And then, we'll keep the Hercules thing a little quiet for a while.
Well, or there's going to be some, because like what you could also get is you could get a champion in this. Which is literally, but that's the thing. I get the feeling a character like Zeus, like we might not get a Hercules. We might just get Zeus is going to go to the Grandmaster, go to the champion, and say, "Who's this Thor I hear about?" And it might just be, the two lightning gods fighting and sort of, messing it up. Because for what it's worth, at this point in the MCU timeline, Thor is a Skyfather.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be pretty evenly matched. They may have even said, we could have Hercules, but let's face it, Thor leveled up in the last film. Although then he kind of leveled down, but we're presuming he's fully leveled up again at this point.
Or as we're gonna get in, we'll get to in Falcon when we talk the finale of Falcon Winter Soldier. Is Val putting together her own Avengers team? Is John Walker going to be her Captain America? I think there's like a second Black Widow coming out of that movie, and then are we going to get a Hercules filling that Thor slot,
or an Ares?
Oh,
if we go full Dark Avengers.
There you go.
I mean, that's the thing. And I've always liked their depiction of Ares in Dark Avengers because they really took him out of the villain mode and just made him, no, I'm the god of war. War is not a nice thing. And everyone wants to think about Athena's war of generals. And that is the difference between Ares and Athena. Athena is the goddess of the war of generals. Ares is the god of war of soldiers. And if you have a guy like John Walker, who is a soldier, it is about maybe building that Avengers that are soldiers that say, we go to make war and we go to where the fight is. Because when we get to Falcon and Winter Soldiers, it's an interesting story as we dissect it. We get a nice redemption arc for our John Walker in this. He shows up and nobody gives him beef. He's got his little Party City shield.
I mean, are they afraid to give him beef? I mean, he did bludgeon. He did bludgeon to death on.
What it is they know he's on their side. And to put it to you super simply, they've been working with Zemo this whole time.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me somehow John Walker is less cool than Zemo?
Oh yeah, I was going to say. Besides Sam and Bucky, I'm like, who's going to get in Walker's face and be like, no, you can't be here.
Yeah. Well, no, but still, it is this idea that they just integrate him in, and that is the thing. It's like they are. This goes into what is going to be arguably our next phase. When we get to the raft, when we get to what's next.
Oh yeah, because same day the finale come out, they already announced we're getting Captain America 4 movie, kids.
Oh yeah, and that is gonna be Steve, or not? It's not gonna be Steve. It's gonna be Sam. Yeah, because as we know, Steve's on the moon. That was.
I thought he was on the moon.
He's on the moon, yeah, because they even get they do a nice little reference back. That's like Captain America. Captain America's on the moon.
You know what I was thinking? What if that's like literal? What if he's with Fury?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be the logical take for it, that he's part of that next level thing. He's gone. He's not easily reachable.
Or I mean, hell, I mean, he was 106 years old. I mean, he might be in a hyperbaric chamber waiting for us to see if Chris Evans ever comes back. Yeah,
Well, he could be, or the next actor who looks enough like Chris Evans to call it a day. I mean, that's the thing. What they're doing with Cap is meant to be left open because.
Oh yeah.
The whole point is, and here's the thing, even if Cap just said, no, I'm going to Florida, don't bug me anymore. I'm old. Leave me alone. I am actually 243. I know I look old, but I've been traveling through time for the last 200 years. Okay? I have fought a billion demons, and you got no idea what I've seen. I'm ready to retire now. And I just came back to give you this shield. Okay, yeah. Kid, so shut up.
I mean, they kept it wide open. All I keep saying is he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. No, we never see a funeral. We never see nothing. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, are they waiting for Chris Evans to come back, or negotiations are in motion, or do they already have him and they're just like waiting to spring that surprise somewhere? Hammer. They're just waiting to like drop him. It's just like
to put it to you very simple. If they want to put him in the old man makeup, I'm sure he'll happily put it on one more time. You want him to do a backflip, that costs extra. Do a flip. By the way, is it just me, or did the guy who says that's Captain, is that the same guy? That's not the same guy, is it?
What?
There's this guy with a beard as Cap shows up, and he says, that's Captain America, to the old guy next to him.
Oh,
because Sam shows up.
Oh, because the first guy says, "Oh, that's a Falcon," and you're talking about then the next guy says, "No, that's Captain America."
Yeah, is that the same guy who said do a flip, and he's also in the Shang Chi trailer?
I don't know. Is that our new Stan Lee?
It might be, man. I was like, wait, guy with a beard? Is that the same guy? I don't know, man. Light-skinned black guy with a beard. Could it be? It's like, because I don't know that guy by sight. I don't know him off the top of my head. I don't know him personally. So I was like, wow, that'd be interesting, because they also had the fact that he was in the Shang-Chi trailer kind of recently highlighted. So is this guy going to be a guy just going to be just going around? Is that the new Watcher? Is he the Watcher?
I mean, yeah. I mean, kids, look how much Marvel we got this week. Falcon and Winter Soldier finale. We got Shang-Chi trailer. Yeah, Russell Crowe's going to be Zeus.
Yeah, Shang-Chi trailer, by the way. Oh, that looks good.
It does.
I mean, justice for Trevor. I want Trevor in this somewhere.
You might get like the first couple minutes,
So that's my thing on this whole thing. The whole thing with Trevor. It's like, oh, is the Mandarin really going to execute him because he's some dupe who called himself the Mandarin? It's like, I'm sorry, there's a whole line of oranges named after you. Maybe you shouldn't take it so personal, And literally, he is literally just the dupe.
It has to be the scene, towards the beginning of the movie, he locks Trevor in a cell waiting for his execution, and then by the end of the movie, Shang-Chi defeats Mandarin or whatever, and he has to retreat. And then just one of the end credit scenes is just Trevor knocking on his cell door. Hello, is anyone still there? Hello.
Well, no, see because that is my take on Trevor. It's like he is a guy with skills, good or bad, right or wrong. He has skills.
How do we know he wasn't a spy for the real Mandarin?
Who knows? Or, I mean, that goes a little too deep, but they could still pull it off.
Yeah, well, they might have said originally he was a spy, but he kind of went off the reservation. I don't know, maybe too much drink or something.
No, I actually think he's just a guy who's really good. This is why I really felt they needed to have him be in. They really needed him to be the power broker. Not because he was the power broker, but because he's the kind of guy who, if he showed up and was talking to you and being Trevor Slattery, would make you think, I could have you killed right now if I desired. And you would accept accept that as reality. And that is the thing. He has a skill set. I could totally see the Mandarin looking at a guy like this and saying, you know what? I need someone to be my figurehead in this place. Because that's the thing. It's like, I don't think the Mandarin minds having a figurehead. I don't think he minds having a person to take gunfire if necessary.
Yeah, if someone's going to take a shot, yeah, let him take it at the body double, yeah.
Exactly, and let him be that person. So I really hope and like I say, the fact that Hail to the King short is not on Disney Plus tells me we aren't done with Trevor. Because there's nothing in that you had to take down that was going to mess with Shang Chi, unless you don't want people thinking too hard about what Trevor's been doing since that. Because nothing in that says that Trevor is going to die.
Mm-hmm.
They just say, the Mandarin wants to see you. The real Mandarin wants to see you. And you might just want to say, man, how did you get me so down? That was so awesome. I love that. I never had a guy play me on TV. That was kind of cool. I really thought you really captured what I try to bring to my daily life.
I don't see the Mandarin being like that in any...
I think he's a total fanboy. I think the Mandarin's a total fanboy. Oh my gosh, you're so cool. By the way, Tristan wants to mention this. The person with the mask that we see, who's the crazy ninja dude that we see punishing Shang-Chi as a little boy and still punishing people as an adult. That is not, I don't know, Death Dealer or whatever they called his name is. Some guy with a skull mask. It's not that. This is a red and white kabuki mask. And that is the coloring of the dragon Funko Pop. That is called the Protector.
Huh.
And I think that is the human form of that dragon. I think we are going to get...
That's great, stealing your identity.
Exactly. We just played a Tristan drop about stealing identities. Oh, you heard it? Okay. Wow. He's got good ears.
Oh, wait, are you saying it could be Fin Fang Foom?
Well, no, I don't think... That's the thing. I don't think it's Fin Fang Foom. I think it's the Protector. Because also, to be fair, people were saying like, oh, the rings were Fin Fang Foom's. No, they weren't.
They weren't.
No, Fin Fang Foom is a completely different dragon that he can call with the rings, but the dragon who crash landed the original ship was long dead.
Yes.
Yeah, he was just a skeleton when Mandarin finds him. So, yeah.
And what do you think the thing is? What the reasoning behind making the rings like actual like big rings on his arms instead of like on his fingers?
Well, and to be fair, the rings themselves were never meant to be rings.
True.
They were basically like washers in the they were just like bits in the thing where it's like, oh, okay, we'll put a little circular thing that'll complete the circuit and that'll give the powers to the ship that'll make it fly and do all kinds of amazing
things. They could always do like an evil Tony Stark scene where they have him just like taking whatever where those rings are and just like fashioning them into rings for his fingers.
But the thing is that the rings were this other thing.
Yeah.
And I think they decided to make them bracelets just because, as people have pointed out, they just did finger bling, So we don't want it to be like just, it's more Infinity Stones. Like, okay, well, we'll make them bracelets then. They're still rings. They're just...
They don't have rings because they seem to just be blue power bracelets.
Yes, Tristan points out they just seem to be blue power bracelets, although I imagine they could probably change colors as needed.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
So they're just 10 rings that each create a energy field.
Oh, yeah. There's probably, each one's probably going to, when they power up, it's going to be a different color. It's going to be like the Infinity Stones. Yeah, it's going to be,
Yeah, but and I think they don't want to be that on the nose for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want it to be They want it to have a little verisimilitude. You also have the fact that there is a thing where, like, it's a training thing where you wear these big rings, and apparently there's a character in Kung Fu Hustle who wears the rings. So and we see that Kung Fu Hustle is referenced in it. So obviously the director really liked Kung Fu Hustle and is working that idea into the series. So, we don't know that, and that was what I was talking about in the first episode. Just was asking what happened to Trevor Slattery. We don't know yet, but I don't believe the Mandarin just had him killed. I don't think he had him just locked up in a freaking dungeon, man in the Iron Mask style. I think the worst thing he might have done is they locked him in a room with, bikini girls and beer. He was like, "Oh, okay." Yes. And you will be here for the rest of your life, Trevor. It's like, you got football on the telly.
Just someone's gonna run into a room. It's gonna be just like Iron Man 3 all over again. He's just gonna be sitting there in a chair watching TV.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Go Manchester! What's a
Lego use concept art. There was an old Iron Man Lego that was actually him fighting the Mandarin.
So in the original Lego concept art, though it went in Lego stuff they actually had the real Mandarin in an early toy of Iron Man 3. So there you go. Fun facts, because they were using concept art before they decided not to make it the real Mandarin, because they said no. Feige said no. Save that. We're going to put that off for right now. We're going to come back to it. Don't worry. I got a whole thing. I got a plan. Feige's got a whole plan.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Aquafina and Simu is in this. I think it's Simu. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
But yeah, I think Aquafina is going to be the new what's his face from Ant-Man, Louise.
Something like that. Well, first of all, Aquafina. Well, you see, that's the thing is like Aquafina has had a great show in Nora from Queens. Simu, please forgive me if I'm misremembering his name, but I think it's Simu, is of course on Kim's Convenience, where he plays the handsome guy, which is literally the depth of his character, which is both beautiful and funny. It's like if Joey had a whole series. It's great, except not being the Joey series we got, but I a series about the Tribbianis, that would be Kim Convenience, but Korean instead of Italian.
But I mean, I could see Aquafina being the comedic relief in this movie, because I mean, I don't know if you saw, she hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live. Like, she has some good comedic timing. So.
Oh no, well, they're both great comics, and that's the thing. Is like Marvel actually seems to reach out to people that know comedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because as we've said, comedy is hard. Getting people that can do dramatic stuff, it's relatively easy, as Trevor Slattery has showed us, but that to do the comedy, to have the timing, that's the hard part.
And I mean, even look at Falcon and Winter Soldier, like our new shadowy figure, the Contessa, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's been known for mostly comedies.
Exactly. And, although, man, now there's going to be the old Christine Coulson Countessa stories, because those are memes that are just waiting to exist. Because it's...
Remember how Seinfeld ended? They were all in jail. She gets out of jail and becomes the Contessa. Or no, she goes to Veep and...
Well, no, because my actual thing is I think there's going to... I mean, if there was ever a time to bring back Coulson, Robo Coulson, Max Coulson, or alternate timeline Coulson, whatever you want, I don't care. That's the thing. It's like you don't have to keep 100% continuity of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. post time travel.
Yeah.
But don't act like it didn't exist, And if we can get a Coulson, Contessa scene, and it's going to be like, Contessa? Phil, and just like really play that old Christine vibe. I mean, that is going to be and stuff like Julia Louis-Dreyfus being in this tells me that they have not given up on Coulson, because nobody is casting Julia Louis-Dreyfus and not immediately thinking, oh yeah, and of course because she knows Clark Gregg, and Clark Gregg probably has been pitching her to them for a long time. She would be great in this series. She's such a good actress. So Yeah, and so I'm waiting for that eventual. That's the thing. I don't think you can deny that to the fans.
No.
If we can get a freaking Snyder cut, we're going to get a Countess and Phil meet. You know, we're going to get this backstory. And yeah, man, there is so much going on in this whole Falcon Winter Soldier. Although the only season of Falcon Winter Soldier we will ever get, you know.
Oh yes, because as the spoilers, as the end title card said, Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Although I'm just going to throw this out here right now. Did you notice that in this episode, Bucky has a red-colored shirt?
No.
Yes, you only see it briefly because you have to get the light because it's a very dark color. But he is wearing a red-collared shirt with the blue over, like the blue tack vest. He is dressed in classic Bucky garb.
Nice.
And I'm going to just tell you right now, that next season, that's going to be Captain America and Bucky.
I thought maybe he would do a name change, you know, just because he's killed under that name, the Winter Soldier, and that's the one Hydra gave to him. But I thought maybe he would either go White Wolf or like what I was thinking. It's like, what if season 2 was like Captain America and Nomad? What if he became Nomad?
No, I think it's going to be Bucky because honestly, I think that's who he is. And I think that was actually even this thing where you can call it where I think it's going to be him re-embracing being Bucky.
Oh, that's going to be funny when he tells everyone to call him Bucky and they're just like, is that your name? He'd be like, no, my name is James. Don't you people know anything?
Well, Bucky's his nickname because I'm James Buchanan Barnes.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't you just be Jimmy? He's like, no, Jimmy's a stupid name. My name is James. But you know, they wanted a short name, and well, you know, because my middle name is Buchanan. That was just weird to people that I had a name like Buchanan. Even in the 1940s, it was like, really, Buchanan?
Oh my God!
We're just gonna call you Bucky.
On my way home today, I started listening to Kevin Smith's interview with Ed Brubaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like he brought him back, he said, because he was like a big fan of like the Bucky, you know, of Bucky, you know, like he read like the old comics and like he got, you know, when what was it, Tales of Suspense became Captain America 100. He's like, as a kid, he's like, I thought maybe Bucky got killed off in Captain America 99. So he went to see, he said in some Comic-Con as a kid, and he's like, he wanted Captain America 99 and they're like, no, he got, you know, Stan Lee just did that in Avengers 4, so he wouldn't have to bring in a sidekick into the modern age. He's like, you can't do that. Like, I'm bringing back Bucky, which he did, and then he was all worried before it hit the stands because he was just like, he's like, oh, people are gonna hate this. People are gonna hate this. He's like, even Stan Lee didn't bring Bucky back. I can't be the, you know.
Well, you know, Stan Lee, you know, for what it's worth, actually did sometimes feel that death should occasionally have consequences. Like, big deaths should be important, you know.
Well, Uncle Ben's still dead.
Uncle Ben, and, you know, Gwen Stacy is still technically dead.
Original Gwen Stacy, yes.
Yeah, I mean, we get alternate universe like 20 years younger than old man Peter. Which is also kind of like the creepy Peter Gwen thing. Where it's like, you're an old dude, Mr. Parker, and I get that, like, I knew a Peter Parker in my universe, and you guys do look a little alike, but you're like 100, and I'm like 18, and that's not cool.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not dating her. It's just,
no, and for what it's worth, I mean, Peter's not even like into that because it's like I actually have a grown-up woman named Mary Jane that I'm actually kind of pining for, you know. But it was weird because you died because of me, and it's like you feel guilty about that kind of thing, which is, you know, that's the thing, and that was the thing with Bucky. It's like, you know, it wasn't so much that, you know, it's that he died. Oh, anyway, but yeah.
But then Sam got Isaiah. Well, we went to see Isaiah Bradley again, and got him that exhibit at the Smithsonian.
Yeah, which was, man, that was short order. Man, I tell you, that is like where damage control and like super tech comes into handy. Yeah, I need a bronze statue of this guy. No, you've never heard of him. Like, here's some ultra classified files, and for what it's worth, like the Smithsonian, totally full of like scientists and lore people. Like, oh yeah, no, we totally want to hear all this story. Yeah, and you can give us. Yeah, there was another Captain America. Absolutely, we're going to write this down. You know, we were going to have an exhibit for you in a week. Mm-hmm. In a week, Sam. And that was nice. And it was nice that it's like, and again, it's like Cap, which is like, he's gone. No one knows what happened to him after that. Maybe he's on the moon too. Honestly, that's going to be the cool thing is you get Chris Evans and, I'm blanking on his name now, the actor playing Isaiah. But just both of them on the moon. Says, we got a place on the moon? Yeah, the moon. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, don't go over there. That's where Maximus the Mad lives. He's like the one thing redeemable from the Inhumans, but he's still kind of a nut. So we give him a wide berth. I don't know where the other Inhumans went, and quite frankly, I don't want to know.
But I mean, they packed so much into this episode. I thought it was great. Like the first couple like the fight scene. I'm like, man, is this episode almost over? And it was only like 20 minutes in, and I was like, in a good way. I was like, man, it's only been 20 minutes. I'm like, that's how much stuff have they done already? Sam fought Batroc. Bucky's chasing down the other soldiers. John Walker showed up.
Yeah, although I've noticed that they tend to do that. They have the big fight right out of the way. So, okay, here's your fight. You happy? Now we're going to talk. Okay? And that's what it is.
Attention. Yeah, now that we got your attention.
Yeah, although, again, and that's the thing. So, I don't buy Batroc's dead. I am not convinced that even Kylie's dead.
Mm.
And not for nothing. As I've kind of talked to other people about it, I'm not convinced Lamar's dead.
That's true. I mean, we never did see it. I mean, after that original hit, once John Walker runs out, we never see his body again.
Well, exactly. And it's kind of this, and again, to talk about New Adventures of Old Christine, Deathlock technology is from season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So winding up with Deathlock Lamar is not a big stretch.
True.
I
just thought maybe the only reason that maybe he was dead is just because kind of the message of this series so far has been look how like the government treats black people as disposable and stuff. And
well, or all soldiers as disposable even.
Yeah.
Black soldiers specifically, but all soldiers in general, because we see how quickly they just tossed John aside.
Oh, yeah.
And that is kind of the thing. It's like they're so happy. And again, this goes to speak again what I was saying about the idea of the god of war of generals versus the god of war of soldiers. And this idea that is a completely different concept of war. Because literally, John was just a tool that was just a weapon to point.
Exactly.
And when he shot the wrong thing, they were going to put him down like a dog.
Yeah, well, that's what he told them last time. He's like, you wanted this. You trained me to be this. And when I did what
Well, exactly. Well, we didn't specifically ask you to do this specific thing. It's like, yeah, but and it's my favorite quote from Darklaw. It's like, people always want a living weapon. No one ever realizes that, a machine gun can't pick itself up and just start randomly shooting people.
And like John,
a living weapon is a bad idea.
Well, like John told Lamar, he's like, you really think they're if we get results, you really think they're going to question us how we got them? I don't know if they would have even cared if he had killed that flag smasher if he hadn't done it in public.
Well, no, and that's literally what Val Cooper said. It's like, when Zemo kills all the other guys, she's like, wow, good thing Zemo saved us that paperwork, huh? And it's sort of like okay, go. And it is, and that's the thing. That's the thing. For all the duplicitousness of it, of Sharon bringing Batroc to work with the Flag Smashers, and this idea he wants to kill Sam, but and that's the thing is he wants to kill Sam, but it's not like he's going to just go shoot, and now you're dead, Sam. And it's like, no, I'm going to beat you with my fists.
Well, I don't think Sharon wanted him dead. Even she just wanted him slow him down. And it's like keep him.
Well, and to that extent, but you realize how for what it's worth, Batroc doesn't have a really strong plan in this.
No.
Where it's like, yeah, I'm going to free you, Batroc. You can stop Sam Wilson. You can work with these people, and you can do. She's playing that long game because she knows whatever Batroc's going to do, it's not going to kill Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
It's at best going to slow him down a little bit, which is going to allow other things to come into play.
Can I just say, what a good showing Sam Wilson put up against Batroc? Because, I mean, remember the Winter Soldier movie? I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Steve Rogers, who had that serum in his veins.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, Sam Wilson don't have that. So, yeah, he
No, but then again, that's the thing about the serum. It can make you stronger. It can make you a little bit faster. Maybe, the idea was it was never really meant to make you superhuman.
No. I mean, but the right combination.
I mean, even when you see like Bucky lifting heavy things,
yeah.
Because actually, when he does it, he's actually doing it with the robot arm too.
Yeah, the arms help. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a whole aspect on that. But even when this idea that it gives you this very, like I said, it's supposed to be like that. Class 500, maybe class 1000 strength. Class 1 strength, which is like 1,000 pounds. Which is like the most natural human cells can lift. And the big thing about super soldier serum is that it actually it shortens the re-up time so that you like sort of don't feel the exhaustion in your muscles.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of the big things that it does. And the idea is, it gives you these muscles, and now your muscles don't get as tired as they usually would for doing all this work. Which means that if you're in a short enough fight, you're not going to feel it.
Yeah.
You got
lots more. It raises your stamina and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So a really high level athletic MMA fighter like the actor who plays Batroc is going to go toe to toe with a Steve Rogers super soldier. Because they're both in that physical condition to do it. Now, eventually, Steve Rogers would wear him down because he's going to essentially rope-a-dope him. He's going to avoid getting knocked out long enough that he can knock out Batroc. And that's the idea. That's the difference between a super soldier and a non-super soldier. Now, my big thing is, did Batroc die? And I don't think he did. Because he's wearing a tack vest.
Yeah.
And we see Sharon Carter gets freaking literally shot, and she's fine.
Yeah, she lives. Yeah.
And I think that he is too much of an asset to allow to get shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that him saying that Sharon Carter is the power broker is going to be about as effective as when Greg Gargoyle was trying to blackmail Moonstone about who the Dark Avengers were. He figured out one of them, but everyone else he's just completely nuts and wrong about. It's like, well, clearly Batroc is is Hawkeye, and your Venom is actually this other. He was completely off and wrong on everybody. But,
well, maybe that's the other thing too. Maybe Batroc got shot, laid there and played dead, and be like, "Well, if she knows I'm alive, she's gonna try to kill me again. So let me play dead until she's gone."
Well, yeah, and again, it goes back to this idea that we got at the end of Homecoming. Was it Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming. Which is this idea that the Vulture knows Peter's identity, but it's not in his best interest to just let it be known right now.
Oh yeah, that's how they played. That's how they played Venom when he first appeared. It's like, yeah, I know you're Spider-Man, but if I let I'm not going to let the word out. Otherwise I'm going to have to compete with every one of your enemies to kill you.
Yeah, which is But no, I actually think that the idea that Batroc would actually realize, okay, I overplayed my hand. She was nice. She shot me in the tack vest. Kylie shot me in the tack vest too, but she's just stupid. She doesn't know better. If Sharon wanted me dead, I would be dead right now. So I'm gonna take the L, and we're gonna talk about this when we get back from the raft. Because that's the other thing is Zemo's at the raft, but he still can reach out to his 800-year-old retainer to blow up a van.
Very good, sir.
Yeah, which is like gets me thinking, like, is that Dracula? Is that Vlad Dracul? Is he working with Zemos? What is this guy that he is able to do all these things for Zemo to blow up a van? But again, a van that Val wanted blown up, that people wanted blown up, and that maybe even Sharon wanted blown up.
I know the whole Val. Maybe I did it. Oh, well, no, I didn't do it. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I did.
Yeah, well, but that's an interesting aspect of this, because here's a little subtle thought to think about. When Wakanda deactivates Bucky's arm, it shows that any tech-based villain or hero can be disabled if you have the cheat code.
Yep.
So suddenly saying, oh, we're getting out of the super soldier game. We're into the tech-based enhancements now. Because clearly, if you had an Iron Man suit, you'd be unstoppable. And there'll be no negative consequences for you at all. So says Mephisto. And that's the idea. Is like, she puts herself in this position where now she can sell to, and it even puts you into this idea of when you're trying to catch terrorists, one way you do it is you go up to a bunch of people that you think might be terrorists and it's like, hey man, sure would be nice if someone blew up that place over there. What we'd need for that though is some C4. Man, would you guys like to know where you could get some C4? And then they're like, well, yeah, we'd like to blow up that place. Where can we get C4? We're in this abandoned warehouse over here. Come on over, and we'll go do that. So, yeah. I'm still not convinced. Like, Sharon doing a heel turn is not bothersome to me because she's a spy. And Fury has done so many heel turns, and the Contessa has done so many heel turns, and Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. were always the same side of the same coin, because at the end of the day, they always had the same goal. Yeah, how do we keep the world from blowing up?
Yeah, but at the end, Sharon's talking about, we're gonna have access to all this hot, top secret tech and stuff, and
well, you got to sell it to Trevor. Trevor's no fool. He knows what keeps the beer flowing. It's money. And now he's like, well, this is going to work out great, Trevor. It's or to the real Mandarin. That's the thing. I think we're setting up the real Mandarin to be the real threat. And I do think, that's the thing. It's like everyone always worries about. How long have we gone? Oh, we've gone a while now. We still haven't talked about comic books. We'll get to that in a second. But everyone talks about, oh, that's not canon. That's not canon. It's like, you know what? Assume it's canon until it's not. Because that's how comic books work. They'll eventually retcon it out if they don't like it too much, or they'll left-handedly acknowledge it, but give you this extra data you didn't previously have. And you'll go, okay, that works. So always assume it's canon until it's proven not. But anyway, let's get to some comics, folks. We got a couple still left. Let's talk Avengers real quick.
Okay.
I was actually waiting for them to declare that Blade was the ambassador to Vampire Land. But the idea that they actually said, no, he's going to be the sheriff is a little weird, but also kind of cool.
Should have been like, you an inspector.
I'm UN. That would have been cool. UN Inspector Blade. Although he probably has a real name, like, Wesley Snipes or something. I don't know. Something silly like that.
Yeah, I think he has a real name, but he's always just like, yeah, call me Blade.
Yeah. This was one of the most interesting things in this I saw was we have She-Hulk reading books, but also still talking in kind of a stilted way. I get the feeling they're trying to negotiate She-Hulk back into being Jen Walters while at the same time keeping Savage She-Hulk as an option.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we are going into World War She-Hulk soon.
Oh, yeah.
Little weird seeing T'Challa fighting T'Chaka as a hologram. Because I don't know, is that like, no, well, because I actually can talk to the dead whenever I want to, kind of a thing. So that was a little weird. Black Panther and Nighthawk, who is apparently a senator, Senator Richmond, is an interest, which is also a weird thing. Just because I thought they were LMDs. Can LMDs get elected senator now? I don't know. But the vampires are interested. I mean, the entire vampire nation is a neat idea. Although I do love the heart-to-heart between Phoenix, Echo, and Ghost Rider here.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they actually make it clear that she actually is still deaf and still reading lips, because once he turns into the Skullhead, I can't read your lips if you don't have lips. So that was neat. And Cap's wearing a mask, which is neat. Shows I'm actually a human level. So all that radiation is probably bad for me. And then we get, Sheriff Blade. That from sun up to sundown, I'm Sheriff Blade. I like it. I like what they're doing. I kind of hope they don't dwell a lot on the vampire plotline, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll take a break because next month, Heroes Reborn, #1.
Heroes Reborn, where Blade is the only person who remembers reality or something like that.
We've done this before. Yes, Age of Apocalypse. Bishop was the only one you remembered. Okay.
Yeah, there's always somebody. You got a book you want to talk about?
Let me see what I got left. Oh, you know what was interesting? Way of X #1.
Yes, I wanted to read that. I did not have the time. How was that?
It's interesting because Nightcrawler's been trying to put together like a new mutant religion, but he's struggling. He's having difficulties because he's like, a lot of the mutants, especially like the younger ones, they're like, oh yeah, death's no big deal anymore. We just die and come back, and he's like, I guess I shouldn't have a problem with people, enjoying not having to worry about death, but it's just rubbing him the wrong way.
Yeah, because it is essential human quality, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, people die, and that's what creates meaning in our lives. And the idea that you just never live or die, like, if you never die, do you ever live, is the conundrum that we're facing in that. So...
And I don't know if Xavier's starting to have doubts because at the beginning, Nightcrawler's on a mission. He's like, "Oh, hey, Kurt, how's he telepathic phone call?" He's like, "Hey, how's everything going?" He's like, "Wait a minute." He's like, "Why are you calling me now?" And Xavier's like, "Oh, just checking in on an old friend." And he's just like, "Wait a minute." He's like,
"Yeah." I mean, I can see how the esoteric questions of being immortal mutants who never die, except you do die, but then there's just another version of you that's going to show up, could be mentally taxing, to be honest with you, because this is the clone conundrum we've constantly talked about. Am I the clone or are you the clone? It's like, I am the clone. I am not the clone on my arm beforehand. It just...
And I don't know if there's like a conspiracy going on because they're like, oh yeah, there's certain mutants they're not in a rush to bring back, and and the excuse is always, oh, there's such a backlog. It takes it takes a while to get everyone resurrected and stuff.
They're impossible mutants. We know that.
Oh.
They're all vegetable-based mutants.
And of course, the end, there's somebody attacking mutants and stuff, and it turns out to be Legion, Professor Xavier's son.
Oh, good old Legion. How's he doing?
I don't know. He showed up on the last page, so.
He had an FX series for a while.
Yep. Very trippy, but very good.
One more Omega level mutant, because what else are we going to do with the weekend? Yeah, that's cool. Champions was okay. It's a very talky book. The cover I got is very annoying. Because at no time do we get a Dr. Doom Juggernaut.
I think sometimes they use like those variant covers as like advertising. Because I think like when Mary Jane had her book, they did like a month of like Mary Jane variants and stuff. So it's Heroes Reborn's coming in May, so all the April variants are going to be Heroes Reborn variant.
Except, is there a Dr. Doom Juggernaut in that?
I think so. Yeah, I thought we got.
Oh, well, then that's cool. Okay, I wasn't sure what that was.
But that's Heroes Reborn. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about this issue. It's teens being angsty about politics and how the man just doesn't understand, which is somewhat true. And it's I mean, it was okay. It was okay. If you're a Champions fan, I'm sure you appreciate the lore, and I did appreciate what they're building there. But yeah, it's another Roxxon's Evil story, which is all well and good. But I don't know. I guess at a certain point, you want Roxxon to do something different and new. You don't want it. It's sort of like when they decided to make the Yancey Street Gang a bunch of hackers. It was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. But then they kind of undid that in later issues too. So yeah, it's all weird. Mighty Valkyries, I read that. That was a good story.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a good story. We get a little side quest with Jane Foster Valkyrie having to capture the Moon Wolf, which is actually Loki's grandchild, who's trying to kill him, or at least maim him. I wasn't going to kill him. I just wanted to maim him a little. They have to lock him with chains, but then he becomes this Loki-looking fella, sort of super goth Loki. So there's plot lines to be explored there. And then we get the other Valkyrie with the axe, who I'm guessing is based off of MCU Valkyrie. Oh, actually, no, that's Carnilla and the three babies. I don't know what the plotline with that is. But, yeah, so our MCU-style Valkyrie shows up, and she has to go to a planet with this Oracle, who actually, as it turns out, is actually like the real, true clairvoyant who's kept in a glass bubble. And has to answer these questions. I gotta imagine he's like some kind of elder of the universe, like the Contemplator, and he just knows the truth, but at the same time, no one ever asks him the right questions. But we do see that our Valkyrie does ask the right questions, and so he's all excited, and she's gonna bust him out. And that's going to be the adventure we see next issue. So I liked the Mighty Valkyries #1. Definitely want to pick up next month if it's not too heavy of a month. Quite frankly, it was really exciting and endearing. Okay, Philip, do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, Philip, I hope everyone has enjoyed hearing us talk. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it is a garbled mess, and not just because I'm bad at my job, but because they have purchased substandard headphones at the dollar store rather than going to tweakedaudio.com, where the simple coupon code Southgate upon checkout will save them money on high-quality audio gear. Likewise, some people enjoy our show because it stimulates their brain, but they still want their brain stimulated. So those people should go to hunterkiller.com, use the same coupon code Southgate at checkout, and get a discount on helping Michelle Gray solve a cold case. After they're done with that, if they've been so fully sated with good audio and good story, they should go down into the show notes, click on the Amazon link, go to Amazon, buy anything they want because that'll be fun for them. And while they're there, they can check out Pod Life, the book written by the Southgate Media Group community to tell our stories, because our stories are important. And if you like podcasting, you might enjoy the book. And while you're there, since you've already clicked on the link at Amazon, buy anything you want. Costs you nothing, helps everyone else out. So do that. And if anyone does that and they want to talk to you, Phil, how can they find you?
I can always talk to me and anyone else on the team. Just email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. I can find links to all of our stuff, social media, the YouTube channel, Patreon, merch, all of it at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
And of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet whatever I want to, but really excited about possibly live tweeting the return of Stargirl, the return of Legends of Tomorrow, and most importantly, the eventual Powerpuff Girls gritty reboot with Chloe Bennett, Quake herself, coming back. So you can do that at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, Philip. So that's been another episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, you, our listeners. We enjoy connecting with you, and we certainly hope next week you'll come back and super connect with us again. Good night.
Good night.
I'm doing disco dancing for those of you on the podcast who can't see the visuals. But go to YouTube and check out the visuals as well.
Get that every week.
They are also fun.
Subscribe to YouTube. Get that every week. And remember, kids, sometimes you don't need a Captain America. You need a U.S. agent.